Did you know that Soul Train, the iconic show that defined an era, was taken off the air for good because of one unforgettable scene? This shocking moment changed the course of television history and left fans heartbroken. Stay with us as we are going to tell you about the infamous performance that led to the end of Soul Train and the behind-the-scenes drama that followed every Saturday morning for 35 years. Soul Train gave America an hour-long celebration of Black youth culture. The show's self-proclaimed reputation as the hippest trip in America made Soul Train not only the place to show the latest dance moves, hairstyles, and threads, but also the place to premiere new music. It became an indispensable promotional platform for Black musicians in the 1970s, and by the 80s was responsible for giving groups their first national exposure. It was a pop cultural pipeline that taught mass audiences how to dance, how to dress, and who to listen to beneath the dazzling lights, bewitching performances, and cascading Paisley. Soul Train was revolutionary in depicting Black identity. Its foundation was rooted in resistance against a bigoted media and a bigoted culture more broadly, and it came of age in a 2000 time of tremendous upheaval and frustration as poor economic conditions persisted, even as the civil rights movement made advances. Despite its joyful and seemingly unserious exterior, Soul Train's message of Black empowerment was urgent. "It was a way of life for me, my culture and my generation," says Louis Ski Carr, a fan-favorite Soul-trained dancer. "I'm Black and Mexican and grew up on the streets of Englewood, and every Saturday morning that was our chance to see our people and to indulge in our own dances, styles, eras, and crazes." Don Cornelius was the official host of Soul Train and doubled as its executive producer. Cornelius was frustrated at over-reported Black crime and under-reported police brutality and hoped to change how Black Americans were represented on screen. Cornelius' desire to see not only genuine but positive representations of African Americans in media led him to brew up ideas for his own TV show based directly on the ABC network show American Bandstand, a widely popular hour-long segment that showed teenagers dancing to the latest music. Cornelius sourced local teens for talent who lined up outside of the network building every day after school, hoping for the opportunity to dance on screen. Black Chicago was given a show that didn't just alleviate a gross lack of representation, but a show whose purpose was commending the breadth of Black talent. It premiered nationally in 1971 with a bold and bright new set befitting of its new location and the staple line, "Welcome aboard. You're right on time for a beautiful trip on the Soul Train." Soon, musicians were the ones asking to be on Soul Train instead of the other way around. Big names like Aretha Franklin performed during the height of their careers, and Stevie Wonder even improvised a new song live on the show. The Jackson 5 were regular guests, adding to the show's star power in the early days. Artists lip-sync their hits during the tapings. However, Don Cornelius realized that live performances were necessary to keep the show fresh and exciting. This led to unforgettable moments, such as Barry White performing with a 40-piece orchestra and Al Green delivering a stunning performance despite having a broken arm. James Brown even joined the dancers on the floor in a glittering purple jump-Hewitt suit. Later, Cornelius made rare exceptions for non-Black artists, welcoming performers with soul like David Bowie and Elton John to the stage. For many artists and dancers, Soul Train was deeply personal. Jeffrey Daniel, one of the show's famous dancers, once said, "Soul Train was so personal to me, it started my whole career, but more importantly, it was something that reflected young Black America." Cornelius made sure the show empowered Black talent on and off camera. He built a team of Black professionals across all parts of production, ensuring opportunities were available to people of color. Pam Brown, the show's talent booker, would hold auditions in Los Angeles recreation centers, scouting dancers with unique styles. Cornelius was impressed and sometimes shocked by the bold and creative dance moves coming out of California. He quickly put together a team of dancers who stood out for their flair and personality. While being a soul-trained dancer seemed glamorous, the job wasn't easy. Dancers filmed an entire month's worth of episodes in just one weekend recording, 2 shows on Saturday and 2 more on Sunday. They had to bring multiple outfits, plenty of energy, and lots of stamina. Unfortunately, they weren't paid unless they performed alongside an artist, a flaw that felt out of place considering the show's mission to uplift Black talent. One of the most iconic parts of the show was the Soul Train line. This segment, introduced in the second season, had dancers form two lines, creating a channel down the middle where pairs of dance showcase their moves. The line became the highlight of the show, giving each dancer their moment to shine, while group dances often led to competition for camera time. The Soul Train line offered individual attention to each performer. Many dancers made the most of this spotlight by using props, doing acrobatic moves, or adding creative flair to grab the audience's attention. The Soul Train line wasn't just a dance routine, it became a cultural phenomenon remembered as one of the show's most beloved and iconic features. It perfectly captured the energy, creativity, and individuality that defined the golden era of Soul Train. One of Soul Train's most lasting legacies is its influence on dance. The show didn't just showcase the latest trends, it invented them dance styles like popping, locking, ticking, and whacking, which later became the foundation for hip-hop voguing, and breakdancing were born on the Soul Train stage. Michael Jackson himself learned the famous robot from the show and perfected the backslide, which he renamed the moonwalk from dancer Jeffrey Daniel. These moves would later define entire eras of pop culture, and it all started on Soul Train. Jeffrey Daniel, a Soul Train dancer, recalled how the show inspired him. All of a sudden on TV, I saw young black kids around my age doing what I love to do, best dancing and looking good while doing it. Up until then, when we were seen on TV, we were either being chased by the police selling drugs or in some silly comedy. From that moment on, it was my lifetime ambition to be on that program. The fashion on Soul Train was as iconic as the dance moves. Dancers and performers wore bright colors, bold patterns, and cutting-edge trends that became instantly recognizable, from tweaky and bell-bottoms to platform shoes and medallions. Soul Train brought black style into living rooms across America. Jeffrey Daniel described the show's fashion as comfortable, colorful, and expressive, saying it perfectly captured the era before Soul Train. Black performers were often stereotyped or sidelined in mainstream media. The show flipped that narrative, showcasing young black talent and presenting a vibrant, positive image of Black America. Don Cornelius, the show's creator and host, assembled a team of black talent both on and off camera, ensuring opportunities for people of color in every aspect of production. For dancers like Cheryl Song, who was the only Asian dancer on the show, Soul Train also broke racial barriers despite initial skepticism from her peers. Cheryl became an integral part of the show for 14 years. Her story highlighted Soul Train's ability to celebrate diversity while staying true to its core mission of showcasing Black excellence. Although Soul Train wasn't explicitly political, it reflected the struggles and triumphs of its time. The 1970s were a turbulent period in America, with battles over school segregation and rising inner-city poverty. Against this backdrop, Soul Train offered messages of positivity and pride. Segments like the Soul Train Scramble Board encouraged viewers to learn about Black icons such as Phyllis Wheatley and Harriet Tubman. The show also promoted natural Black beauty through its partnership with Afro Sheen, a Black-owned hair product company. By airing Afro Sheen commercials and promoting natural hairstyles, Soul Train reinforced the message that Black is beautiful. Let us take you to the most exciting part that everyone will love: the unforgettable performances of Soul Train. The best place to start is, of course, at the beginning. The show's first nationally broadcast episode aired on October 2, 1971, featuring none other than Gladys Knight and the Pips. Their performance remains iconic, not only for the music, but for the energy Don Cornelius brought to their introduction. With his signature baritone voice and excitement, he